Welcome to Buzz Around the Globe. Rescuers hoped Tuesday that the arrival of specialized deep-sea vessels and U.S. Navy experts would boost desperate efforts to find the tourist submersible that went missing near the wreck of the Titanic, as oxygen for the 5 on board rapidly runs out. All communication was lost with the 21-foot craft during its descent Sunday to see the remains of the British passenger liner, which sits nearly 4 kilometers below the surface of the North Atlantic Ocean. Now the chances of finding them are looking very bleak, according to experts.
The opportunities for finding them in a mangled wreck within the next 36 hours, I think, are practically impossible. And probably the worst place for them to be would be on the seafloor, which implied that the vehicle itself either imploded or got tangled somehow, much to the distress of the captain in the mess of the Titanic. I mean, it's a mangled wreck with probably all kinds of treacherous things which would not be very friendly for a small boat, about 7 meters. We are extremely concerned that, first of all, we haven't even found where the submersible is. And second, if we were able to find it, would we be able to rescue the inhabitants? It's either a mechanical failure or an electrical failure. And I'm hoping it's an electrical failure, because they do have weights. One of the safety procedures that they have is to make themselves lighter. So if you're heavier than the water, you sink. If you're lighter than the water, you float. Sure, the rich people have those opportunities, but I think it should be liberty and exploration, and people should be able to make those decisions on their own. And I think ultimately my hope is that it will increase our interest and understanding in what's going on in the sea.
The submersible, named Titan, was carrying 3 fee-paying passengers, including a British billionaire and a Pakistani tycoon and his son. OceanGate Expeditions charges $250,000 for a seat on the sub, which is about the size of an average truck. On board is Briton Hamish Harding, Pakistani businessman Shahzada Dawood, his son Suleiman, OceanGate Expeditions CEO Stockton Rush, and French submarine operator Paul-Henri Nargeolet, nicknamed Mr. Titanic, for his frequent dives at the site. Shahzada and Suleiman Dawood hail from one of Pakistan's richest families. Mike Reese, an American television writer who visited the Titanic wreck on the same sub last year, told the BBC the experience was disorientating. The pressure at that depth, as measured in atmospheres, is 400 times what it is at sea level. The compass immediately stopped working and was just spinning around, and so we had to flail around blindly at the bottom of the ocean, knowing the Titanic was somewhere there, Reese said. He said everyone was aware of the dangers. You sign a waiver before you get on, and it mentions death 3 different times on page 1. US and Canadian Coast Guard ships and planes are scouring 7,600 square miles of ocean, larger than the US state of Connecticut, for the vessel, which was attempting to dive some 400 miles off the coast of Newfoundland, Canada. Rescuers estimate that passengers have just about a couple of days of oxygen left, based on the sub's capacity to hold up to 96 hours of emergency air. Rescue efforts ramped up as a 2018 lawsuit came to light that alleged that OceanGate Expeditions' former director of marine operations was fired after he raised safety concerns about Titan. Company's experimental and untested design of the Titan was cited in a court filing. The Titanic hit an iceberg and sank in 1912 during its maiden voyage from England to New York with 2,224 passengers and crew on board. More than 1,500 people died. It was found in 1985 and remains a lure for nautical experts and underwater tourists. Do tell us what you think about this video in the comments section, and for more news updates subscribe to India Today.